seemed like one of your better performances for the year, for the most part, but just a couple of, I guess, familiar issues that have come up again. But what else do you think kept it short?
Yeah, I think I think both sides had a real crack tonight. I think to play that way against a really good team, I was proud of the boys, but they're still saying that there's still areas of our game we need to work on, and we get a chance to, with a 9-day break against Fremantle, to look at some issues and some opportunities we gave the Bulldogs to allow them to score so easily at times. So I think the whole way through it was an arm wrestle, and the boys fought as hard as they could.
When it is a tight contest like that, how frustrating, I guess, is it when the set shots just aren't going through?
Yeah, well, exactly right. And the last 2 weeks it's been an issue. 3-8 again from set shots tonight. Something that we need to train. We need to make sure that we're also having shots from decent spots on the ground as well, to give ourselves the best chance to maximise that. So, but having said that, when we do get our chance, we need to take control and execute.
It's clear the tackle numbers were up again this week. The pressure was a similar level to what you brought last week. How important of a message has that been, kind of post-buy, in terms of buying back into that Swans brand of footy you want to see this team play?
Yeah, we want to, put enormous pressure on the opposition as much as we possibly can. We also want to be good in the other 3 phases of it, with obviously the contest and stoppage, but also the way we attack and defend as well. So a lot of those metrics have gone back to where we need them, but we need to make sure that when we, at one stage they were scoring at 70 or 80% every entry inside 50. So all the hard work that you do, you've got to capitalise on. And to their credit, they won some crucial contests at crucial times.
Obviously losing Tommy before the bounce and then Dane sort of in the second half, that hurts that experience and that leadership down back. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of those leaders down back, sort of Lewis, Mullikin, stood up pretty strong even without 2 of your main guys down back.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And, ideally you'd love them to play against a couple of players that they have ahead of the ball. I thought Lewis, the way he defended, he had a really big impact on the game. And, it was a credit to him with the work he's put in to be able to go to one of the most informed players in the competition, and get beaten a couple of times. That's what happens. When Sam kicks the one from the boundary line, that's just the quality player he is. The block and lead up he took in the first one from a centre bounce free kick. But after that, he fought back. He fought well, to his credit. And, look forward to getting a few of those other 2 back next week.
Jarrad Grundy's obviously had a really big sort of 2-month period, but tonight felt like one of his best yet in terms of really trying to dominate that battle with Tim English.
Yeah, he's been, for a couple of months, he's been good, really good. And the work he puts in throughout the week, the attention to detail he has, and he just wants to get into a grind and compete. And I thought, not only with his follow-up stuff, but, sometimes throughout quarters where he started to really try to smack it forward and get some ascendancy that way to turn the Bulldogs around a little bit, was crucial to us getting a bit of a run on. So, he works as hard as he can on his game, and his performance and results are taking care of itself.
And the improvements that you have made, I guess, since the Adelaide game, how much of that is down to the cattle that's returned, or have there been refinements that you've sort of put in place that are paying off?
Oh yeah, a bit of both, and I still think there's plenty of work to do, and that's a good part about our industry, is that if 1 or 2 things are going well, there's still a couple to work on. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge what we have turned around, but I still want to make sure that the players are aware of where we can try and gain that ascendancy and maximise our impact from that. So that's something we need to do. And we've got a weekend to look at it, which is good.
Do you feel like you've still got enough, I guess, runway to make a finals push? Because history suggests there's probably only one game up your sleeve now, especially with the percentage that you have at the moment.
Yeah, I can't look too far ahead at the moment. we've got Fremantle, who are another team like the Bulldogs. You know, they've won 5 in a row or something. Obviously, this weekend they're playing some really good footy. So we'll make sure that we get as much as we can out of learning from this game, and then our attention will go Tuesday straight on to Fremantle to try and quell their influence and get a result we're after.
It looked pretty slippery out on the field tonight, particularly down the Paddington end. How much of an impact do you think that had on the game tonight?
Yeah, there's been some challenges with the surface throughout the year, but you know, I really looking at other things. That's where I sort of spend my time, things I can try and control.
How frustrating were, I guess, especially when you had a bit of a run going in that last quarter, some of those turnovers out of defensive 50, just kicks kind of just missing the mark, and defenders doing well to kind of turn the ball back over in your favour, and then some poor use up the field kind of not allowing you to capitalise on that.
Yeah, spot on. You know, I think, and that's exactly what it was. Yeah, it was frustrating to get the opportunities and then to, I suppose, not execute the way we want to play at that particular time. You know, so whether it's going for kicks that aren't there, option taking, but, you know, I think one thing, you know, we gave ourselves the opportunity, we just didn't capitalise on it, and that's what cost us in the end. We just couldn't peg it back. Try to get as many opportunities as we could, but it's tough to do against a really good team, only out of your back half.
Isaac was, I think, the last player on the ground to get his first disposal in the game, but then he ends up with 5 goals. Clearly, moving him forward to try and get him a bit more involved in the game, was that a clear tactic to go, okay, he's maybe not getting as much of a look as we'd like, this is how he can impact the game?
Yeah, I think when you have James spending some time on Ed Richards, you know, choose a bit of midfield time, and also, yeah, you want to try and get your best players going as quickly as you possibly can. And if that's not in the position they're playing, to try and move it as quickly as you can. And we know what Isaac can do ahead of the ball. His ability to impact in the air, but also around forward 50 stoppages was really good tonight. And, you know, it's a quality player he is. Once they get there, generally things happen.
I imagine you're hoping Tommy will be back next week, but with Dane and, I guess, separately, Joel, are you hoping that they'll be close with the 9-day turnaround?
Yeah, I think, Joel was really late and slight, but it was also, there was still a risk. And with his history, it just become too much of a risk. So, expect him to train throughout the week and make himself available. Tommy the same. And then Dane, just his calf got a little bit tight. So he was just a little bit cautious about if I go back out there, something might happen. So, it was about making sure we look after him first as well.
Jack Buller's first game in 2 years, obviously gets his first goal.
Yeah.
Worked hard and tried to make a bit of a contest up for. What did you make of it?
Yeah, and that's exactly all we asked. You know, to come in, an hour and 10 minutes before the game. And be told this morning he's not playing VFL. You're a chance to play AFL, still only a chance. We're going to assess what Tommy does and then to come in and compete, have a play with presence. That's all we asked. And I thought he did that.